Hello, and welcome to Living Simply and Fun. I'm Aaron, and I'm going to teach you how to cook roasted cabbage wedges my style. Um, I even went and looked for this recipe online and could not find it. So, one thing you'll need is oil to brush your cabbage wedges with, black pepper to grind over your cabbage wedges, this is about a teaspoon and a half of sugar, which should be more than enough that I need. And this is a half teaspoon of salt. So, anyways, this here is my cabbage. And got this from a friend of ours that was giving some away because they work on a farm and they had too many. Try to remove the outer leaves because they're, sometimes they're not all too healthy looking. And these are kind of rubbery, so you don't want that going into your dish. And a lot of people don't know this trick with cabbage, but go ahead and aim it at something like your counter and, didn't work. It usually works, but it works best on lettuce. You end up popping this and you can just pull it out. So on this I'm going to end up having to use a knife. I'd forgotten it doesn't work very well with cabbage, but now my knives are all missing. Here we go. So just take a knife, try to cut towards the center as you cut. That way you kind of make a conical shape underneath the stem part. And then you should be able to pry this sucker out, if I did it right, like that. Now, next step you'll do, and I should get a plate or something to work on. I have a cutting board, but it's glass, and while I'm chopping, I could actually damage it. So, I'm going to go ahead and put that on here, and I'm going to get myself a cookie sheet. Pardon me. When working in a kitchen, always make sure you sneeze away from food or anything like that. It's just something I learned when I was cooking. Now go ahead and cut your cabbage in half. That'll probably mean moving it because a lot of them are big, and I usually try to go with small cabbages. But now you got your cabbage. And try to cut wedges off of it like that. You cut it in a slight angle. And just go ahead and put that on the tray. And then there's another good one on the tray. And a third one. In fact, I'll probably only use half this cabbage wedge for tonight because we got enough stuff going with dinner. There's a fourth one on the tray. Rotate it a bit. And here's a fifth wedge. And here's a sixth wedge. So this is a pretty big cabbage because it would have made 14 wedges roughly. And there's number 7. Kind of put this one back together a bit. And there's number 8. So we look at our tray here. And there you got them. 8 nice little cabbage wedges. And now I'm going to get my brush out. I'm more prepared for this than the lamb recipe. And you just brush them with a little bit of oil on the outside. Like so. Try to get that oil all over them. Into the pores and stuff like that. If you need more oil, you can get more oil. There's, you don't want to flood these things in oil, but you want to make sure they're all evenly coated. And the thicker they are, probably the more oil you're going to want to put on them. And these cabbage wedges don't really want to hold together, but that's alright. And to save money, I use this 123 vegetable oil. I don't know if it's available everywhere. It seems to be an import to our area or in the state, because I never saw it when I lived in Ohio. But it could be something new. And go ahead, just brush this on this. And if you're wondering about the black pepper, the grinder, I got that actually at the dollar store. And they're pretty well brushed, I think. And good to go. So the next thing you do is you take your salt and pour it into your sugar. And then you want to mix it all together. You can use your finger if you want. And then you put it into your hand pretty much, and you sprinkle it across the tops of these. Now, I used to do this with the black pepper in it, which made it easier for me to see where I'd sprinkled. But I've kind of gotten a good idea over the years of making this that I know just how much to put on. And that's why the measurements aren't too important. You're just looking for the salt-sugar mixture. And it's not supposed to be too salty. And that should be good. And then, as I said, the black pepper. Just grind some black pepper over each one. I like fresh ground better because it's got a better flavor to it. And I wouldn't really say that this is fresh ground. It's just you got dry old peppercorns in here, and when you crack them, there's a certain sense of smell that comes from them that you don't get from pre-crushed. Like, it's not exactly sneezy. The old wives' tale that pepper will make you sneeze. It might if you inhale it directly, but I've never had a problem with that. So alright, and there those are. Get you a closer look. Alright. And over here, I get red wine vinegar. Now I'm going to bake these. They should be at 400, but I'm going to bake them at 350. And when I pull them out, I'll put some red wine vinegar on them and throw them back. Or actually, the red wine vinegar goes on when I pull them out. So I'll show you that step when I'm done with these. Into the oven they go. And they're cooking at 350. So anyways, I'll see you back shortly when that is done.
Cam program.
Hello, and welcome back to roasted cabbage wedges. Now it's time for the wine vinegar. You see how? I'll show you the angle it down. You don't need to see me. If you see they're turning brown along the edges, kind of blackening, there's some crunchy spots, which will be really nice and tasty. And now you just take your red wine vinegar and splash some on there. You don't want to overdo the vinegar, and that's good. So these are now ready to serve. So thank you for watching another episode of Living Simply and Fun on cooking. And here you have roasted cabbage wedges with sugar, salt, black pepper, red wine vinegar, and oil. And they are very scrumptious.